Welcome back to the second half. A little hiatus.
Yes.
Scott and I are back. Long break.
Christmas, New Year's, and since we missed a couple weeks, I didn't get a chance to wear my ugly sweater.
Yeah, people are probably wondering, wait, what's the date of this show?
I know,
What's he
because they see
wearing?
this beautiful ugly sweater, and I had to wear it. I had to represent. I'm not even a cat person, but it's so ugly. I had to show it off today. Only for the first episode.
I hope you're getting paid to wear that.
I am not getting paid.
By
this
someone.
Is yeah,
In the house, maybe some type of
yes
benefit for you to wear that. And
But I'm excited to be back, though. Really excited.
I can tell.
Because we have a
sweater says it all.
Yeah, it does. It does. It brightens everything up. But we have a special guest, a Connecticut legend, a Connecticut grown superstar, UConn superstar,
The all-time
leading scorer,
University of Connecticut still, believe it or
and
not.
will never get broken because kids leave so early. But at the same time, someone that's so not respected enough that the people that played with him and know basketball know he should get more props and more publicity than he gets. And we're happy to have our man,
brother.
Chris Smith, with us today.
Smitty Bob.
Smitty!
In the house.
Our first guest, Smitty, our first guest.
When you clap for yourself. You
Yeah.
You gotta clap it up, man. You gotta clap
Yes.
it up. Team sports. It's a team sport.
Man, it's so awesome to have you, man. Your name comes up. I mean, every time Scott and I talk, and it's always positive, obviously, but it's more about. It probably is more about two old men saying when we did it, and you got to remember this, and just kind of connecting the dots with history. But the great things that you did for the University of Connecticut, and it's not just the scoring. I think for me, it was the first time I realized that maybe I was in over my head when I saw you play when I first got to campus, because I knew I wasn't ready for that level yet. But more importantly, I think for the recruiting is different nowadays, but for the recruitment process, keeping guys like you and Scott in state was a huge part of the building to get 8-7 guys from out of state. So, your name comes up a lot. It's all, we love you so much. And I always tell people this all the time, not just because you're sitting here, and Scott and I had this in one of our shows.
First episode.
My all-time favorite player. And just because of the things I've learned from you, the person that you were, what you taught me, and just watching you, man. It's awesome to have you here today.
I appreciate that, guys. And I'm telling you, it started even with me. You kind of had guys like Phil Gamble, Cliff Robinson, Willie McLeod.
Yeah.
Guys that when I first came on the campus, they took me aside. They showed me around the school, showed me how to practice. Phil Gamble was an unbelievable shooter.
Yeah.
He really was. We used to play one-on-one almost every day, along with John Gwynn. Yeah. So when I came to UConn, I had no idea that the work ethic was already there because it wasn't shown on the wins and losses. Mm-hmm. They didn't win a lot of games.
Yeah, true.
But the guys there really put in the effort. Cliff put in the effort. Willie put in the effort. All those guys really, Lyman the Priest put in the effort. All those guys, Murray Williams put in the effort. That was another Connecticut guy. So when I got there, I just said, I have to show. All those guys were older, and Calhoun kept saying, you're going to be the next guy up. You're going to be the next guy up. And you need to show the new guys coming in that they got to be some type of leader.
Yeah.
Scott was one of those new guys coming in.
Yeah.
Was he an influence on you, Scott, knowing that you're from the state? You guys are both from here. And actually, grew up in Hamden and Bridgeport. It was close.
The first time, I heard about Smitty growing up, but I never saw him play until he came to Hamden and played in our jamboree. And I was a freshman. He was a sophomore or something like that. And everybody talked about the Chris Smith, Smitty dribble. I was like, what's Smitty dribble? Everyone has a dribble. Everyone handles the ball. But this man handled it so low to the ground that no one could steal it from him. And you could tell how talented he was. Jump shot was smooth. Mid-range was unbelievable. Knew how to could pass the ball. But his ability to score was unbelievable. And he wasn't like...
He could pass the ball.
Yeah, he could pass it, yeah.
Okay.
But what?
Because I know his nickname, Bop.
Yeah, it was bailout pass. Yeah,
That's what that stood for. Smitty Bop.
But when he wanted to, but when he wanted to, he could pass. Yeah. But his ability to score was incredible. And, it just showed, his freshman year coming to UConn, scoring right off the bat. Yeah. Every year improving and just, watching you grow from the high school player you were, the All-American, to leaving college as the All-American and being the all-time leading scorer was fun to watch. And so I appreciate playing with you my 3 years I was with you. and learning from you.
Yeah,
definitely.
Scott, I really appreciate that. And I was in awe of Scott. Scott came in, two-way player, baseball, along with basketball, and it was something that I always wanted to do. When I was young, I played football and I played basketball. But when I went to Kobe Cathedral, they didn't have a football team. So I stopped playing football, and I was pretty good at that. So I really admired when you came in and I saw that you put the effort in playing two sports is really, really tough, and you did it. But I tell you guys a funny story. When I was young, the reason why I had that low dribble was because my mother.
Okay.
I used to dribble the ball. I took the ball everywhere with me.
Yeah.
Right? And even in the house.
Yeah.
The kitchen, I dribbled the ball. I dribbled the ball everywhere. So my mother was always yelling at me, stop dribbling the ball. So I went into the basement. And in the basement, I used to dribble the ball so low where she couldn't hear it.
Oh,
she had to get up
nice.
and go to work, the next day.
Yeah.
And I was in the basement just really pounding the ball.
That's
pounding
awesome.
the ball. And she never really heard it.
Yeah.
And that's how the ball was so low. And I got that dribble.
That's a great story. That's a great story.
You scored 2,145 points. You played 127 games, and the reason I mention it is because, like in this day and age of college basketball, you hear these numbers, but these guys have been in school 5 and 6 years. Some of them. Your sophomore year, you took 496 field goals. That led the Big East. That to me is outstanding. And 191.
Why is it outstanding? Because he shot every time he had it? Why is that outstanding?
One, because he played for Jim Calhoun.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't get that many shots
as a sophomore.
Yeah.
And the other one is to have the confidence and the belief to be able to do that. But shot 40% for your career from three. I mean, it's pretty awesome to see the things that you did and to understand that, yes, I know there was Wes Balasuknia and Tony Hansen, those guys, but when the modern game, the reason why UConn became what it is today is because, to me, it started with you, obviously, as Scott, too, as the foundation of what they've, of what,
it is
how
today.
It started, what it is today.
Yeah.
So that's spectacular. Scott, the one thing I want to ask you before we take a quick break, in high school, did you, besides seeing him at the jamborees, whatever it was, there was no crossover, no play?
No,
You guys were double L, right?
Yeah, he played in the lower league, lower division. When you play in the lower division, you play less talented teams. So maybe that's why he was All-American. Maybe I would have been.
Yeah, he knew something you didn't. Hey, I will say this: being lower, we're going to keep that theme. He's always below you.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is true. Yeah.
Segue to what we got coming up.
He's a little smaller.
He's
way more talented, but a little smaller.
Yeah, he's always down here. All right, well, let's take a quick break, and then we come back. I want to show some. We got to show some. And
footage.
Yes, it's in color.
Yeah.
It's in color, Smitty. We found some
Okay.
in color.
I appreciate
we might have
that.
touched it up to make it color, but we found some, some video of you. So when we get back, we'll look at that. So stay with us. The second half. We'll be right back.
Back with the second half with Scott and Donnie and our special guest, Chris Smith. Smitty, while you're here, with all your great accomplishments at UConn, do you still feel slighted? Like, I think you should be on the wall. I think you should have been the first person to be jersey to be hung up.
He's not up there?
Not for retired jerseys.
Not for retired jerseys.
Not for retired
Yeah,
jerseys.
when you're
the little postage stamp.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
up
yeah.
there for that, but that don't really. Yeah.
When you put UConn on the map, probably one of the first All-Americans, NBA draft pick, you deserve your flowers. And I don't think UConn gives you your flowers. And I say this to everyone. Like, I love Ray, and I think Ray's a great player, and it's always and Rip's a great player. But Chris Smith put UConn on the map. Your jersey should be up there. What are your thoughts on that?
I appreciate that. I just value people like yourself, and Donnie, people that really was around at the time.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, you got to realize we played at Hartford. And when we played at Hartford, most of the people that watched us play were in their 50s at the time.
Yeah.
I'm 55 right now. So most of the people that watched us play, Scott, are not there anymore.
We got some video
So-
of Smitty. That is awesome, man.
Who's that guy?
Who is that?
He's handsome.
So you said the fans are different now.
The fans are different now, and I appreciate that. So whenever I get, I hear young people say that my father watched you play. They say you were one of the best. I'm happy about it. I'm okay with that. Whatever UConn does, I appreciate that, guys. You guys.
I mean, Smith, it is hard to advocate in that situation for yourself because you are dealing with, and it's not just the fans, it's the administration is much different. They're younger.
Exactly.
They
and a lot of them who are there now aren't UConn people.
Yeah.
So like the AD, the president, they're not UConn people. So UConn has lost their inner family.
Yeah, and history nowadays is, if you go 5 years back, that's about all you're getting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, no one really thinks back further than that. So
which is sad.
That's why we keep showing videos like this, Smith. The style, it's just interesting. Was the style of what UConn did and Coach Calhoun did when you got there, did the system fit you, or did you change the system? Because this was a different type of I told you, when I got to UConn, all the way from Seattle, I never saw basketball played like this. You handle the ball, guys running and cutting and full court pressure. Do you think you made the system change, or this was Calhoun's system when you got there?
I think, to be honest with you, the system did change because of the players. Myself, Scotty Burrell, we were more athletic. We had Tate George at the time, Nadav Hennefeld. When Calhoun got there, he had Cliff Robinson, so the ball went inside most of the time. The system changed because he had dynamic guards. You had pro guards playing on your team. So you really had to change your system and give it to guys that can really do it and score for you and make things happen for you. And I think our defense was one of the best. I mean, I tell you, I scored 20 points a game, but 10 of them was because this guy, Scotty and the Dove, stole the ball. They stole the ball. We pressed the whole game.
You were a great defensive guard.
So, I got the ball. I got like 5 layups because they stole the ball. So majority of my points was because of our defense. It was because of our defense. And so Calhoun, I think he changed the game because he saw that we had dynamic guards.
We're showing, obviously,
Great old
it's
clips.
just awesome clips of you, just the balance and the pull-up. The fade-ups were sweet, too. I don't know who the barbers were at the time, but boy, oh boy, those things were clean.
Yeah, it was.
It's interesting because it's no dreads, no braids, no ponytails.
No tattoos out there.
No tattoos.
Yeah,
it's so funny how the game has changed so many. But the shorts are still sweet, though. Everyone jokes, oh, what shorts did you wear? I'm like, we had them. Those are the Pistons shorts at the time where they were like cut straight across. That was important for us. We wanted to look stylish still back then. But Smith, I want to ask you, as we're watching these videos, after that, you were drafted by the Timberwolves. Played in the league, did your thing. What's life been like since since UConn and maybe the NBA? What have you been doing since?
I tell people all the time, basketball is a funny thing. I played with the Timberwolves. I got drafted 92 to 95. I played, right? 95 was the first lockout. So during the first lockout, I went to Europe. Played in Europe. I played with Rolando Blackman. We were in France. At that time, I tore my Achilles. So from 95 to 97, I sat out 2 years. I stayed in France. They, luckily I was on a great team that took care of me. They did my surgery. I stayed down there for 2 years. In 97, I started to play again. Pat Riley calls me because they had Bimbo Coles. Bimbo Coles was one of the guards. Bob Wolf was my agent, the same agent, Larry Bird and everything. And he had
Scott's
my old agent too.
My old agent too.
That's funny.
So Bimbo Coles was one of the players from Miami Heat. Miami Heat was getting ready to trade Bimbo Coles. So Pat Riley calls me in 1997. I want you to come up to the vet camp, Tim Hardaway. You could play with Tim, back him up, blah, blah, blah. We're working out. I'm getting back in shape. My body, is getting back in shape. My leg is getting better. Second lockout.
No, that's awful. Yeah,
that was
awful.
that 97, 98, right?
Yeah,
we were in
97,
Vegas
98.
Yeah.
I just went to the vet camp, then second lockout. So by that time, I bought my mom's a house. I built the house in Dallas. I said, look, I got to go back to Europe. So when I went back to Europe, I just ended up staying back there. Because it's kind of tough. You've been out the league a couple years, and, you got hurt and stuff. So
you had bad luck. Timing was bad for you.
Timing was bad, but
injuries and the lockouts.
God works in mysterious ways. Everything's done for a reason.
Then after hoops.
After hoops, I worked in law enforcement for 20 years. I'm retired now.
You coached too? You coached? You went back to high school and coached?
Yeah, I went back to my high school, coached 6 years.
Yeah.
I did have an issue with you because I turned on a game and saw you doing what I do as work.
Trying to get a job, Smitty.
I don't need to be.
Hey, take his
I
job,
couldn't compete with Smitty in college.
Hey,
I don't want to have to try to compete with him now.
Free agency and broadcasting too. Free agency.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah,
man. You don't want this, man.
No,
You don't want this.
broadcasting is fun. It's a lot of fun. Whenever they give me a chance to do it, I've been blessed with that. I've done some games with Sacred Heart University for some years, and then like you saw me do the last game with Michigan, Michigan State and UConn. But whenever they call me, I do it. It's not something that I'm looking to do, but if they call me, I do it.
Now you're a
glad to
golfer
hear
now.
that.
You're a big time golfer now. You and Ollie Mack and John Gwynn get out there, hit the ball around, and you're getting better.
I'm getting better. Not the best, but I'm getting better.
We want to ask you to play with us, but not yet.
I'm not ready for you.
Yeah.
You know?
You're ready. I don't know if we're ready for you.
I was telling one of the producers, I like where I'm at. Because it's not professional. I don't get too upset about it. I think if I played as well as you guys, because I told one of the producers, I said, they're 1, 2, 3 handicap. That's tough. That's almost pro. And I wouldn't have fun. Right now, I have fun.
We would, though.
I have fun.
Yeah,
Smitty, you always
if I don't play well, I have
Smitty, you owe some money. We'd be saying that. It'll make you better,
a lot of fun.
It'll make you better. You'll learn a lot of lessons from that going in your pocket.
Look, I know you do a lot of games. You call some. So we're going to talk a little bit about our alma mater when we come back. They're off to a great start.
Yes.
Had a wonderful game against Providence. You know how those matchups can be. But when we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about UConn and where they are right now with the legend, the man, the myth, Chris Smith. Come back and see us in the second half.
Back with the second half. We got Chris Smith. We're going to talk, and Donny Marshall. We're going to talk UConn basketball and that great game last night at Providence. It's always a great game against Providence, a great rivalry that's been going back for years. And it was another great game. Great finish, and UConn came out on top again.
Yeah, it was. You knew that the energy in the building was going to be like that. And I told people this a lot before this game. It doesn't matter what the records are.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what Providence's record is, and it doesn't matter what UConn is ranked.
Yeah.
You know it's always going to be a game. You know, after, Yankees, Red Sox, I would say obviously on a lower level, this rivalry in our area is as big as it gets.
I mean, they're so close to each other. They're so close, and they fight for the same recruits a lot of times. Yep. Obviously, UConn's getting a different recruit now, but back in the day, both schools used to fight over the same recruits.
Closer, though, Smitty, than I think people expect. Win overtime, 103-98, UConn wins, but there was a long time in this game. That first half, Providence shot 59%, and that's been one of the issues, at least coming into the season. They fixed it, UConn, at least we thought before last night, their defense. Yeah. But somehow Providence, what'd you see in that game? Because, again, we're going to put your analyst hat on. You've been doing some games. You did the Michigan State-UConn game. What'd you see in that game that could tell us a little bit about what's happening with UConn?
Did you watch the game?
I did watch it.
Okay, yes.
I did watch it. That was one of the better games I've watched this year. Just, you know what I like about UConn and the coach? They have toughness.
Yeah.
They have toughness.
And depth.
They have resolve as well.
Yeah.
They have big-time resolve.
Showed it last night.
They showed it last night. They were down. They were down where they shouldn't have came back.
Yeah.
Providence kind of just lost their way a little bit at the end. Forced some shots. They missed some shots. Didn't get the key rebounds that they needed to get. Yeah. UConn ran their offense. They're really, really good at running their offense. And Caravan is one of those players that he's a bright player. He's very, very smart. He knows how to make the right play. Mm-hmm. He made some great plays at the end. And the big fella in the middle, Reed, he's a bull. Yeah. He's a bull. They couldn't stop him last night. Yeah. So last night, I just saw that this team is just ready for the big spot. They're ready for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
They're built for it.
Yeah.
You could tell. They were down. They didn't get upset. They stayed within themselves and they won the game. So
Silas Demery, 14 points in the second half of his 23, but he also had 15 assists.
Oof.
I mean,
that's big. That's big, yeah.
To me, he's one of those guys that we haven't really seen. He hasn't had a game like this yet because I think he's a veteran. He's trying to figure out who he has, who he can trust. But I say this all the time. Your toughness begins with your guard, your point guard.
100%.
That's where it starts. You can have a great front. Florida's dealing with it a little bit. They have a great front line. They're big, strong. One of the most expensive front lines in college basketball. But their guard play has been a little up and down, let's say, to put it kindly. not the toughness that they need.
Yeah.
Their toughness is in their front line. UConn, their toughness starts with Silas Demery, and he showed that against Providence in 41 minutes.
What's incredible is you just said 15 assists.
Yeah.
UConn's tempo is one of the slowest on offense in the NCAA.
Yeah.
So to have 15 assists, number one, you're making the right reads, you're making the right passes, and guys are making shots. And that's why the second half they had that comeback, because guys were making shots, making the right plays. But that's why their depth, and you can bring anyone off the bench, they can score. And that's why they're going to be the best team going into the NCAA tournament.
Just to counter that a little bit, Scott, though, they had – this was astonishing to me. Bench points were 41-3 in favor of Providence.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, again, we know their bench is deep.
Yep.
Wasn't their night. So, in my opinion, this makes them that much more scary because their bench didn't step up like they're supposed to. Jalen Stewart hit a 3. Yep. That's it. But they still overcame that.
Yeah.
Smith, that to me says, and Solo Ball wasn't in the game late.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
So when you've been in those games, both of you, where the coach feels something, you got to be able to adjust.
Yeah, you got to stay
I
with guys.
I will give Dan Hurley credit for that. As emotional as he is, and he's always on the verge of getting thrown out of a game. You just feel that when they're not playing well.
Yeah.
But he does understand how to adjust, and I know I don't want to. He doesn't care about hurting feelings. He wants to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I mean, Mullins was playing his heart out.
Man,
I mean, he was hitting big shots.
24
He's a
points.
special player.
6 of 10
he really
from 3.
is.
That's Chris Smith numbers.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But he's really a special player.
Yeah.
I mean, he comes off screens and he dials in and knocks that thing down. And how can you take a player out like that?
Yeah.
That has the confidence as a freshman.
Yeah.
And I think he left guys in defensively as well. I think Jalen Stewart was in that game more for defense. He wasn't going offense, defense. And Solo Ball, as hard as he played, Scott, look, we were this. You didn't have to call us two-way players.
Yeah.
There's still some guys who aren't two-way players just yet. It's funny that we have to say that, but I think Solo Ball may have fallen into that. I trust maybe Stewart's size and length a little bit more than Solo's, even though it'll give us it might not give us as much offensively.
Yeah, like you said, sometimes you have those guys that can score buckets. Sometimes you have those guys that just play defense and cause turnovers to get easy buckets. Yeah. But like you said, nowadays, offense is the main thing, and everybody talks about it so much, and everybody worries it's so overhyped, and I think defense obviously wins games. That's why when we're in college, I think that's how we won is defense.
Yep.
But if you have the right defensive players on the court that can make shots, you're going to get those runs on both ends of the court. So,
another number that's astonishing: UConn averaged coming into that game 7.6 made threes a game.
It's not a lot.
They were 18 for 32. Wow.
Yeah,
so again, another number that scares you if you're on the outside looking at them. Okay, we thought we had them figured out. The passing, the cutting, the ball getting to the second and third side. Now they're making threes. He creates a whole different monster when you're playing against them. And your guy, Terrace Reed, 20 points.
When you have an inside-outside game,
rebounds.
it makes the game so much easier.
Everyone thinks it's just threes.
No.
But you need someone to rebound, and he was eating up a lot of those. He had 8 rebounds. His second half was to me, he was a man because, again, you and I talk about this all the time. As a big, different for Smitty, I'm only as good, even for wings, we're only as good as he will allow us to be.
Yeah.
If he's not giving us the ball, we can't work. So the fact that Terrace Reed started getting touches, again, it's guys recognizing Dan Hurley doing a great job of adjusting last night. That was
It makes
awesome.
the game easy.
But
the energy in that building was incredible.
It really was.
It was like
unbelievable.
Yeah, the atmosphere makes games better, and that atmosphere was real and it was energetic, and the roof was getting blown off that place.
It showed that they're the top dog.
And hats off to Stewart. I thought Stewart was going to be that guy that Mullins was last night. And last night, to be honest with you, not really getting all the touches. He didn't get all the touches, but he made that big shot in the corner to put him up by 1. So hats off to Stewart for not really getting into a rhythm and getting the shots that he wants. But when his time came, he knocked it down.
And 5 big rebounds late. And it showed in this area, they're still on top. And somebody else I want to point out has always been on top.
Yes. I'm always.
You always tell me you're like top dog.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it until you sent me a photo of.
Hey, I
I
told
guess
you
you
guys
are the
not
top
to do
dog.
that, man.
I didn't know they had it, Smitty.
Was this like a photo for like an R&B group? Like what are we doing here? Because if you took the ball out, it looks like you guys are posing. Where was this at Sears? Where'd you take
No,
this
that
picture?
was at Gamble Pavilion.
What?
The magazine, the preseason
How did you
magazine.
sign off on this?
That was
Smitty?
a setup.
How did you sign
That
off
was
on
a
that?
setup.
They said, Scott, they want you at the bottom. I'm like, I'm not getting on the bottom. I am not on the bottom. So I was on top
That
of
was a setup.
Yeah.
Man. I
Let's
can't believe you
reenact
guys
it. Want to
did
reenact
that.
it?
No,
Oh my
not at
God,
all.
Smitty's come to his senses since then, so thankfully. But
I don't know why we allowed that, Smitty.
Oh, my
I
God,
don't know
Smith.
why
I don't
we
know
allowed
what was
hey,
that
I
about,
just
man.
honestly, man, from the bottom of my heart, you're our brother. You know we see you all the time, but still,
Yeah.
we love you so much, man. Everything
Love you
you've done
guys.
for the
Love you
school,
guys,
what you've done
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Just you don't like Scott said, you don't get your flowers, but we're gonna continue to push that.
Yeah.
Scott, this man needs his jersey retired.
And
man.
I agree,
He's
and
the reason why it
I
all
can't wait to
started.
be there when they do retire.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll push for it all the
Started
time.
with
I
him.
talk about it all the time because
The reason why we're here.
We need the hoop. If it does happen, we need the hoop fight there, the dream
Yeah,
team.
Oh,
We
yeah.
need the
Hoop
dream
fight,
team.
that's a fraternity.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, for
Thanks
Scott.
again, Smitty.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you.
man. Thank
For
you,
Smith,
man. Thanks for having me.
Scott, thanks for watching the second half, and we're gonna try to come back without that ugly sweater next week.
No, it's going. I've had it for a
Can't
week.
wear it every week, man.
I can return it now. The tag's still on it. I can return it now.
Hey, back in the day, we used to say Merry Christmas. Remember that?
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Oh,
I don't remember, but I'll go along with it. He's our guest. Yeah.
We'll give him that.
Yeah.
Because he was on the bottom of the picture.
Yeah.
Come back and see us next week, folks. Thanks.
Thank God it wasn't mistletoe.
That is hilarious. Oh.